This is a response to a YouTuber who goes by the name of Cardinal Virtues. Cardinal Virtues has made some excellent videos recently. If you are unaware of his work, please check out his channel and hit the subscribe button. I highly recommend him. Now this will sound a little confusing, but let me explain a recent exchange that took place. Cardinal Virtues made a video response to Bionic Dance's video, which was a response to the Peaches video, which was a response to a Bionic Dance video. Confused? Well, I am too. I'm not going to specifically address the dialogue in these videos, however, the theme hit home with what I've been considering for the past month or so. What should be our goals as atheists? I'd like to start by making a distinction between atheism and atheist movements. Perhaps such a distinction is trivial, but I'll make it nonetheless, as I've watched several videos that seem to cloud this distinction. Atheism is simply the lack of a belief in a god or gods. It's not a movement, a group, or an ideology. It is a position about a single topic. If you don't believe in gods, you are an atheist. As such, atheism doesn't have any goals. However, atheist movements are ideologies and consequently do have goals. So when an atheist speaks about ideas, she or he isn't speaking on behalf of atheism. She or he is representing something else. Now, I understand that the topic I will address is a controversial one, and it is very possible that my view may be unpopular among my subscribers. However, I think it's important for me to state my feelings on the subject. I'd like to start by examining what I believe is a major goal for most atheists. I think that most would agree that making the world a more secular place would be better. Things like equal rights for the LGBT community, the elimination of pseudosciences being taught in the classroom, and the promotion of scientific programs such as stem cell research are all important things worthy of support. Now, although most atheists would probably agree that moving toward a greater separation of church and state is a good goal, there seems to be disagreement with how best to accomplish it. Some think that this goal can be accomplished by speaking out and attacking ideas that threaten secularism. Others think that secularism can be best achieved by trying to persuade people to leave religions altogether. It's this latter idea that I'd like to discuss. The idea that the best approach to promote a more secular society is to persuade people to leave religion. Perhaps I'm wrong, but it seems to me that this view stems from a fundamental belief that religion is inherently bad and the cause of many of the problems in the world. It also seems that this view assumes that the elimination of religion would make the world a better place. In his video, Cardinal Virtues asked a very poignant question, which I'll paraphrase. How can we know for sure that the world would be a better place without religion? First, we'd have to know how to measure both the good and the bad done by religion or in the name of religion. And second, we'd have to know how much the goods and the bads would increase and or decrease if religion was eliminated. But could we ever determine this? Some may argue that getting rid of religion would eliminate the bad done by religion or in the name of religion, but still preserve the good done by its members. People would still be equally altruistic even without religion. But how can we really know this? If you can argue that religion has the ability to affect people, then why can't its effect be good as well as bad? Without religion, I personally think the world would be better in some areas, but possibly worse in others. What would be the net effect? I honestly don't know. Many of us atheists have been negatively affected by religion at some point in our lives. Consequently, many of us have probably gotten emotional regarding it at one time or another. It's easy to become angry about things that have negatively affected us, and rightly so. Some of us feel that much of our lives have been wasted because of the indoctrination to religion that occurred at a very young age. Others have felt wronged because they have been denied rights that are afforded to other groups. How are either of these things fair? They aren't. Part of my childhood was robbed because of my religious indoctrination. Some have been denied the right to marry because of their sexual orientation. If you are angry over these or similar things, then your anger seems justified to me. Anger can be good. It can motivate us to do things we might not normally do, things that are important. However, anger can also be negative. It can cloud our judgment. When we are angry, it can be difficult to think critically. And when we aren't consciously trying to think critically, it's easy for us to fall back into the biases we are trying to overcome. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not suggesting that all atheists who oppose religion do so because they are angry. Additionally, I'm not suggesting that all who are angry are using impaired thinking. I just want us to be aware that these things can happen. When we believe that religion is inherently bad and the cause of many or most of our problems, then our enemy becomes religion itself. At this point, it's easy to generalize those who belong to religious groups as holding the bad beliefs we ascribe to those groups. Christians discriminate against the LGBT community. Christians want to teach ID in school. Christians want to impede scientific progress by limiting stem cell research, etc., etc. The truth is, however, that many Christians support our views. Many support LGBT rights. Many oppose the teaching of ID in schools. Many support stem cell research, etc., etc. And when we disregard this fact by lumping all Christians together and attacking them, we alienate a powerful ally, an ally that could very well help us achieve a more secular society. What I find both funny and troubling about this is that when we demonize all Christians for the actions of some, we have seemingly succumbed to black and white thinking, the very thinking we are trying to fight. I believe that we make a huge mistake when we view religion as our enemy. I agree with the Peach, who noted that it's not religion that is our enemy, but fundamentalism. And I might add that fundamentalism exists on both sides of the fence. It can be found in both theists and atheists. Now, I'm not suggesting that we should silence our voice. I'm not suggesting that we be nice and just try and get along. I'm not suggesting that we lessen the attacks on the ideas that pose a threat to our freedoms. Instead, I'm arguing the opposite. If there's an idea that threatens our freedom, regardless of who holds it, then we need to attack it. And that attack can take many forms. It can simply be an argument, or it can even be ridicule. If an idea is crazy, then I think mockery is a viable means of attack. We should fight for a further separation of church and state. We even need to fight against discrimination that some atheists deal with. An atheist shouldn't have his or her rights limited because of non-belief in God. No group should be discriminated against, but each given equal rights. My point in all this is if we are seeking to promote a more secular society, then attacking religion doesn't seem like the best strategy. We should attack ideas, not groups. And if we need to reference a group, then I suggest that we narrow the focus, such as addressing it to Christian fundamentalists instead of just Christians. I know that some see being more descriptive as overkill and an unnecessary step. However, as Cardinal Virtue stated, being accurate and specific is generally a good thing. I know that this is a controversial topic, and this video will likely have many dissenters. I also understand that the issues are more complex than I have presented in this brief video, so please leave a comment or make a video response. I'd like to continue the dialogue. Once again, please hop over to Cardinal Virtue's channel and hit the subscribe button. I think you'll be glad you did. Take care.